Welcome to the Live Better, Sell Better podcast with your host, Kevin Dorsey of Inside Sales Excellence, the #1 Patreon group and YouTube channel for tech sellers and tech sales leaders, where we dive in deep for tactical advice on how to book more meetings, close more deals faster, and lead sales teams to success. But we don't stop there. We also focus on the person in salesperson. We talk about mindset, goals, time management, and so much more. So thank you for listening. And if you're interested, head on over to patreon.com/inside sales excellence. Now with that, grab a notepad, get ready, and let's dive into the good stuff. So let's roll with this here, right? So, okay, we're getting people to think. So when we get into discovery, what are you coaching your reps or telling reps? What do you want the prospect to be thinking about through discovery?
The first thing I want the prospect to be thinking about are problems. However you want to, if you want to call them problems, challenges, concerns, fears, because they may not have a problem. They may not tell you or feel that they have a problem now, but they might be very concerned that they could be having a problem soon for whatever reason. So I want them to think about problems. There's a specific formula that I coach my team to begin to execute that problem question. That's what I want them to be thinking about. And I joke around with my teammates because as much as people like to talk about how good things are, for some reason, people like talking more about how things suck. Mm-hmm. I think our brains are wired to be negative, which is terrible, which is why we all have fear of failure and all that stuff. But they like talking about what they're afraid of, loss aversion, all that stuff. So that's what I like them to think about first.
And so, this is fun because I go on discovery all day long, right? So now, because it's true, by the way, first of all, you said something very subtle there. We actually are more wired to talk about and to receive negative information. It's what kept us alive as a species. Ooh, the red berry tastes good isn't nearly as important information as the red berry will kill you.
Right.
And so we are tuned to that negative information. But here's what's interesting. If someone's a real friend of yours based on the negatives they share with you. If you have someone who only tells you the good things going on in their life, they're probably not that good of a friend because they don't trust you enough to share the bad things. So in order for someone to share their problems, you have to have trust. So how do you set up the discovery questions or the process to start building some of that trust where someone feels comfortable sharing those problems? Because the old school classic, right? So Charles, what keeps you up at night?
Right.
That would get me thinking about my problems, but I don't know you, so I'm not willing to go there yet.
Yeah.
How do you set up kind of that process or start to establish a little bit of trust so someone's willing to share those problems?
A very good question. The short answer to that is to teach them something first, which is problem related. So I'm a big fan of roadmaps. I love roadmaps. Roadmaps to ask a question, roadmaps to answer a question, followed by asking another question, etc. So the mini roadmap is one, from my perspective, 1, sharing context, 2, sharing insight, 3, humbling disclaimer, and 4, asking an open-ended question, to what extent. So that looks like something like this: sharing context. Hey, Kevin, as you can imagine, just to give you some context about my role here, I speak to probably 2 or 3 XYZ teams here a day. That's my context, right? I'm subtly giving you an understanding as to what I'm doing. 2 or 3 private equity firms, venture capital firms, pretty much every day. And number 2, which is sharing insight, they share a lot of different things with me about what they're concerned about, what they're hoping to accomplish. It ranges anywhere from 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it lists out the problems. They're concerned about this, they're worried about this, they have problems with that, or they're really looking to be better at this. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3, humbling disclaimer. I don't really know exactly how to ask this question, or whatever your humbling disclaimer is. And then 4, but I'm curious to what extent. It's the open-ended question using my favorite 3 words, to what extent. To what extent do any of those resonate at all with you? And if not, what would you say does that I might have missed? So that's the mini roadmap, and it subtly does a lot of different things. Tells you where I sit, what I hear. I know what I'm talking about. Maybe none of that resonates with you, and that's cool. And I'm leaving it open-ended at the end because I'm getting you to think. So that's a way I teach my reps to do that.
I love that. It is
okay.
It is damn near to the letter how I teach my reps.
Oh, cool.
As well. Like almost to the letter. Comically, you could actually go back and maybe listen to some podcasts I've done, other places people talk discovery. Hey, I talk to XYZ all day long.
Right.
A lot of them seem to be really struggling with blank, blank, and blank, and then insert insight, which is causing. Right? I don't know if that sounds like your world or not. Like, which one of those are you struggling with right now? Or do you got it all figured out already?
There you go.
Right. So that's beautiful, man. That was almost to the letter there, which was really, really good.